Hello and welcome to brand new airport preview time once again. A quick look at the map first with the location of the town of Otira where the airfield is. And I thought I'd show you the map because if you're a pilot in New Zealand you might not know where Otira is because there isn't actually an airstrip here. Yeah, this is a fantasy one, and if you only do real stuff then look away now. The reason behind doing a fantasy airfield isn't that we're running out, there are still other new ones to do yet. It's more that when you look at the map there are sometimes large spaces between existing airfields, and I'd quite like to fill in those gaps. And if there's a real airstrip to find in those spaces then that's great, but sometimes there's nothing there at all. So I have been looking at a few gap filling locations where I thought I could build a new fantasy airfield, but do it in a way where it's a plausible location and it will look as though whatever I make may actually exist in real life. And that's kind of what happened here, because there is a long strip of grass where I did wonder if it may be a genuine airstrip there, but when I looked closer it wasn't. Although that same strip of grass is now the runway in this scenery. So rather than the Southfield craziness with fantasy stuff, I've tried to make it fit the landscape a bit more, but as it is a fantasy location, I'm not stuck with copying a real thing, so that does give me plenty of creative freedom, which means I can make it a bit more fun and interesting, and in this case a little bit challenging too. The end result is hopefully an enjoyable place to come and see. Depending on the setup you have with either the full SimHeaven stuff or whether you use the same as me with forests only from the new SimHeaven and the older SimHeaven roads, then the power lines and the railway will be in a slightly different place. It's fairly similar, so it will look a lot like this, but unfortunately it's not close enough where I could do an all-in-one package for it. So I've had to make two separate versions of this scenery. Both will be included in the download, so it's just swap over some files to get whichever one works best for your setup. But what certainly is in both versions is the small factory close to the threshold coming in this way. You will need to avoid that, and also Jason who works there. Last week he went to Auckland to a big convention where a faith healer was performing. Although Jason was a bit disappointed because the healer was totally rubbish, and some people had started leaving halfway through his show. In fact, it was that bad that even a guy in a wheelchair got up and walked out. Okay, full brakes, and hope we can stop before we run into that hangar. And nope, emergency escape to the right, a bit more room over here. I don't know, might have stopped before we run into it. Maybe. So that was XNZOR Otira Airfield, which I must say I quite like actually. I'm happy enough with the way that one came out. So if you'd like to have a look for yourself, then it's usual places, and you can get a copy at explain.org and also my mega folder, and try it out and see what you think. So until next time then, see you soon. Bye.